Every business wants growth, but far fewer ask what makes that growth durable.
That is the real question. Why can't another company simply copy what you do?
Moatology is the study of the forces that protect a business from imitation, substitution, commoditization, and competitive erosion.
The name comes from a castle moat. The moat does not replace the walls, the guards, or the structure. It forces an attacker to solve another problem before ever reaching them.
Businesses operate the same way. A company may have a good product, capable employees, useful technology, and satisfied customers, yet still remain dangerously easy to copy.
And if a competitor can reproduce the visible parts of the business quickly, then the advantage may be real, but it is not durable.
That distinction is the center of Moatology. Being good matters, being difficult to replace matters more.
Because a business can be excellent today and commoditized tomorrow, if customers cannot identify a meaningful reason to stay.
When customers see several companies as interchangeable, price becomes the easiest way to compare them.
That is where margins begin to collapse. Competitors discount, customers shop around, loyalty weakens, and every sale becomes more expensive to win.
Many owners misdiagnose this as a marketing problem. They believe they need a better website, stronger social media, more advertising, or a sharper slogan.
But marketing cannot permanently rescue a business that has no meaningful protection. It can amplify a moat, but it cannot manufacture one out of adjectives.
Saying that your company is innovative, trusted, customer-focused, or world-class does not create a moat.
Every competitor can say the same thing. The question is what operating reality makes the claim true and difficult to duplicate.
That is why Moatology begins with mechanisms rather than descriptions.
Instead of asking whether the company provides excellent service, ask what specifically creates that service, and whether another company could reproduce it within 90 days.
Perhaps every customer receives direct access to a senior technician. Perhaps the company maintains unusual inventory depth. Perhaps its process removes 3 weeks from delivery time.
Perhaps the real advantage is trust accumulated over 20 years, a referral network, proprietary data, specialized knowledge, or a workflow nobody has bothered to document because it feels normal internally.
Those invisible systems often carry more value than the visible assets.
Two companies can own the same equipment, use the same software, buy from the same suppliers, and hire from the same labor market, yet produce completely different results.
One may struggle for leads, while the other has customers waiting months for an opening.
The difference is rarely the truck, the office, or the software subscription. The difference is usually the moat.
Moats come in many forms. Brand can be a moat, trust can be a moat, distribution can be a moat. Switching costs, proprietary data, operational expertise, community, regulation, location, and network effects can all become moats.
But not every strength is a moat, and not every moat is equally valuable.
A temporary advantage may help a company win this quarter. A durable moat keeps producing leverage after competitors notice it.
That is one of the most important tests. What happens after everyone knows what you are doing?
If the advantage disappears as soon as competitors recognize it, then it was probably a tactic.
If the advantage becomes stronger with time, usage, customer volume, accumulated knowledge, or reputation, then it may be a true moat.
This is where 64/4 thinking becomes essential. Traditional strategic analysis often creates long inventories of strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats, features, competitors, and customer segments.
The analysis may be thorough, but thoroughness does not guarantee clarity. A company can produce 80 observations and still have no idea which 4 actually protect the business.
The 64/4 question is simpler. Which 4 forces create most of our durable advantage?
Not every protection deserves equal attention. Some merely help. A few carry the company.
Those critical 4 should guide investment, hiring, pricing, product design, customer selection, marketing, and operational decisions.
Because once the moat is understood, strategy becomes less about doing more and more about strengthening what already matters most.
Consider a software company. It may believe its moat is the number of features it offers.
But features are often easy to copy. The real moat may be customer data, integrations, habit, embedded workflows, or the cost and risk of switching.
A local restaurant may believe its moat is the menu.
The deeper protection may be location, community identity, customer memory, consistency, staff relationships, and the fact that families have been going there for 20 years.
A consultant may believe the moat is knowledge.
But information is abundant. The stronger moat may be diagnosis, judgment, pattern recognition, sequencing, implementation, and the ability to identify the real problem before everyone wastes money solving the wrong one.
A salesperson may believe the moat is persuasion.
The stronger moat may be trust, specialized understanding, access, responsiveness, credibility, and the buyer's confidence that this person will still answer the phone after the contract is signed.
A marketer may believe the moat is attention.
Attention is valuable, but rented attention can disappear overnight. A trusted audience, distinctive position, recognizable worldview, and direct relationship with customers are much harder to replace.
Moatology forces the company to distinguish between what looks impressive and what is actually protective.
That distinction can be uncomfortable because businesses are often proudest of things customers barely value.
A founder may be emotionally attached to the technical architecture of a product.
Meanwhile, customers may stay because support responds in 10 minutes and competitors take 3 days.
The founder may believe the algorithm is the moat.
The customer may believe the human reliability is the moat, and the customer's answer is the one that pays the bills.
This is why introspection matters. Companies spend enormous energy studying competitors and surprisingly little energy studying themselves.
They know what others charge, what keywords they target, what features they offer, and what they post online, but they may not know why their own customers return.
Moatology begins by asking a company to look inward with uncomfortable honesty.
Why do customers choose us? Why do they stay? Why do they refer others? What would they genuinely miss if we disappeared tomorrow?
Then comes the harder question. What do we believe is special that customers do not actually care about?
That is where internal mythology collides with commercial reality.
A leadership team may believe the company wins because of innovation.
Sales may believe it wins because of speed. Operations may believe it wins because of reliability. Customers may simply say, "You answer the phone."
That answer may sound less glamorous, but it could be the most valuable truth in the building.
Moatology does not reward the most sophisticated explanation. It rewards the explanation that most accurately describes why the business remains chosen.
Another powerful question is, what becomes stronger every time we make another sale?
That question reveals whether growth is merely producing revenue or actively widening the moat.
A sale may add a review, a referral, operational knowledge, customer data, network density, supplier leverage, training material, or proof that reduces uncertainty for the next customer.
In that case, the transaction does more than create income. It improves the company's future competitive position.
A weak business often resets to zero after every sale.
It finishes the project, collects the money, and begins searching for another customer with no accumulated advantage.
A strong business compounds.
Each completed project makes the next project easier to win, easier to deliver, more profitable, or more defensible.
That compounding quality separates many real moats from ordinary strengths.
A strength helps the company perform. A moat makes continued performance progressively harder for competitors to challenge.
This also changes how growth should be evaluated.
Revenue growth alone can be deceptive. A company can become larger while becoming less protected.
It may add too many custom services, too many exceptions, too many poorly matched customers, and too much operational complexity.
From the outside, the business appears successful. Inside, it is accumulating fragility.
Moatology asks whether growth is widening the moat or filling it with dirt.
That is a much more useful strategic question than asking only whether this month's revenue exceeded last month's.
Every major opportunity should be judged through that lens.
Will this partnership strengthen distribution or make us dependent on someone else's platform? Will this new service deepen expertise or distract us from the system that made us valuable?
Will this large customer improve the business or force so many exceptions that the company becomes less repeatable?
Will lower pricing expand the market? Or will it weaken the very trust and positioning that justified premium pricing?
Without a moat lens, those decisions appear as isolated revenue opportunities.
With a moat lens, they become structural choices about the company's future bargaining power.
That is why Moatology matters to consultants.
A consultant who understands moats does not merely recommend tactics. The consultant identifies which parts of the company deserve protection before prescribing change.
That prevents the common mistake of improving one metric while damaging the underlying advantage.
A consultant may reduce costs, for example, but accidentally eliminate the service layer customers trusted most.
Or they may automate a process that looked inefficient internally, but was actually producing the personalized experience responsible for referrals.
Good consulting, therefore, requires more than asking what can be faster, cheaper, or more efficient. It requires asking what must not be damaged.
Moatology also matters to marketers because positioning should emerge from reality.
The strongest marketing does not invent a difference. It discovers, clarifies, and communicates one.
When the moat is understood, the message becomes specific.
Instead of saying the company offers superior quality, the marketer can explain the process, expertise, guarantee, data, access, or operating mechanism that creates the quality.
Specificity creates credibility.
It also makes the company easier to remember, because customers can repeat a mechanism more easily than a vague adjective.
Moatology matters to sales for the same reason.
Customers are not only comparing products, they are evaluating risk, uncertainty, status, trust, implementation difficulty, and the consequences of making the wrong choice.
A salesperson who understands the moat can explain why the result is more likely, why the risk is lower, and why the company is difficult to substitute.
That is far stronger than simply insisting that the product is better.
The sales conversation becomes less about persuasion and more about structural confidence.
The buyer sees not only what is being sold, but why the company is unusually capable of delivering it.
There is also a danger in believing a moat is permanent.
No moat deserves blind faith. Technology changes, customer expectations change, competitors learn, regulations shift, and distribution channels disappear.
A moat must be inspected and maintained.
An advantage that once protected the business may quietly become ordinary, obsolete, or even burdensome.
A company that once won because of physical location may lose that advantage when customers move online.
A software company protected by integrations may weaken as open standards make those integrations easier to reproduce.
A trusted brand may destroy its own moat through poor service, inconsistent quality, or short-term extraction.
Trust takes years to build, and surprisingly few bad decisions to erode.
That is why Moatology should become a recurring discipline rather than a one-time workshop.
Every quarter, the company should ask whether its critical protections are widening, narrowing, compounding, or decaying.
Which advantage became stronger, which became easier to copy, which customer behavior changed, which former strength has become overhead.
And most importantly, what deserves disproportionate attention now?
That returns us to 64/4 thinking.
The goal is not to build every possible moat. That would create complexity, waste, and strategic confusion.
The goal is to identify the handful of protections carrying most of the company's durable value.
Then feed those protections with capital, talent, systems, attention, measurement, and time.
If trust is the moat, protect trust. If speed is the moat, remove anything that makes speed unreliable. If specialized expertise is the moat, deepen it rather than diluting the company into generic service.
If distribution is the moat, own more of the customer relationship. If community is the moat, do not trade belonging for short-term volume.
Moatology gives a company a way to decide what deserves defense.
It answers the question that growth alone cannot answer. What makes the value durable?
That is the first part of this three-part series.
We have identified the castle, the walls, and the protections that keep competitors from walking straight in.
But protection is only part of the system.
Every business also contains forces that slow movement, redirect behavior, filter customers, create delays, prevent mistakes, or produce unnecessary resistance.
Some of those forces protect the moat.
Others quietly drive customers away, exhaust employees, and weaken the company from inside.
To understand the difference, we need a second lens.
That lens is frictionology, the study of what slows, blocks, shapes, and regulates movement through a business.
Moatology tells us what deserves protection.
In Part 2, frictionology will show us what is helping that protection, what is damaging it, and where the business is losing energy without realizing it.
Then in Part 3, we will bring both disciplines together.
Because a strong company does not merely build a moat, it designs the entire terrain around it.